I am Ben Castle, and we'll be talking about a nuance of mechanical design engineering, specifically the pros and cons of designing a part for a specific manufacturing process. A general misconception is by providing the exact information necessary to control the manufacturing process, the faster the part can be delivered with a significantly lower rejection rate, partially because additional touch labor can be eliminated from the process. This can be true assuming the same machine tools and workflow can be used. If the available workforce and manufacturing capabilities are known during the detailed design process, then it makes complete sense to tightly couple the design to a specific production process, thereby designing for production. This can also be referred to as designing for manufacture. This will limit the options for producing the part if production will be split across multiple enterprise boundaries, multiple manufacturing sources are to be sought, or if the manufacturing plan has not yet been determined. This may also be impractical during sustainment when the identical manufacturing processes may not be available or appropriate, resulting in a significant level of effort to adapt that part definition to the available manufacturing processes. By decoupling the product definition from specific production processes, supply chain agility can be maximized. Even though the product may be designed independent from specific manufacturing processes, it is critical that the product definition take producibility into consideration, thereby designing for producibility. It is important to understand there are two types of modeling philosophies that need to be taken into consideration by the mechanical design engineer. These are design for production and design for producibility. Production ready includes the addition of the information necessary for a specific workflow, manufacturing processes, and machines to produce a part that can be qualified. Producibility is the readiness of a design for the manufacturing workforce to provide the additional information necessary for production. To illustrate this point, we're going to take a look at a common and seemingly relatively simple situation: the threaded connection. The most common method for modeling a threaded hole is by using a cylinder that has the nominal diameter of the thread and an associated property to the surface that contains the thread specifications. This is usually sufficient for most material removal processes because the computer-aided manufacturing system can determine where to drill and either tap or chase the threads. For additive manufacturing, and even in some circumstances where material removal processes are used, it is not quite so simple. Options can include a threaded insert, providing an additional solid infill to 150% of the full thread depth, and various tolerance decisions. This will require derivative models to be developed to support a specific manufacturing decision. The first option to be considered is a cylinder having a nominal dimension with non-graphical attributes applied to the surface. If this is manufactured as is using additive, the connection will fail due to insufficient thread depth. Another option is a cylinder having the diameter of the tap drill. If using this technique, the number of shells should be increased such that the material being tapped is solid. Another option is a threaded insert which could be pressed into the part after it is printed. And then finally, the age-old technique adopted by many hobbyists: just create the threads. Remember, though, that if using FFF, selecting the tolerances to balance strength and quality of fit is currently more art than science. There are many variables the mechanical design engineer needs to consider, and we will throw one more at you: what should be printed and what should be bought. Additive manufacturing has a tremendous upside, but don't neglect the other tools in your advanced manufacturing tool belt. And let's not forget the old adage for repair and refit: hammer to fit, paint to match. I am Ben Castle, and this was a brief look at two modeling methodologies to support advanced manufacturing.